They had no options left. Then, out of nowhere, boom, the unthinkable happened. We've never seen a salary this massive get waived before. Nobody believed it could be done. But here we are, and Giannis once again gets his way. But here's the catch: this whole strategy only works if you're willing to leave. Think about it. LeBron has perfected this move. He pressures front offices, gets them to trade every future piece for win-now talent. And then when the team's window closes, he simply walks. Alright, that was fun. I'm off to the next team, and everyone's still eager to have him, because he delivers. But if you don't plan to leave, the pressure loses its edge. Look at guys like Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, or even Steph Curry. They played the long game. They trusted their organizations, didn't push them into desperation mode, and helped build sustainable winning cultures. Giannis, he's torching the foundation and then wondering, wait, why does everything look like ashes? Frankly, I'm tired of Giannis dropping all these veiled threats about leaving but never actually having the nerve to follow through. He's always got some quotes floating around like, I don't want to be on the same team for 20 years and only win one ring. But be honest, did he ever feel like he was actually going to leave? Not really. So now the Bucks have made another extreme move just to keep him happy. And ironically, this year they've got a real shot. The Celtics might be finished after the Tatum injury, and the Pacers are falling apart. New Chartese Halliburton, no Myles Turner. With some good fortune, Milwaukee could walk into the finals. Signing Turner filled a big hole at center, no doubt, but they're far from complete. They still desperately need perimeter defenders, reliable outside scoring, and a secondary ball handler to ease the load on Giannis. There's buzz they might go after Anthony Simons from Boston. A straight-up deal for Kyle Kuzma could make it happen. Another name floating around: Chris Paul. Now, if there's one person I don't feel bad for, it's Damian Lillard. Let's be honest, the guy was clearly uncomfortable in Milwaukee, far from his family and support system. This might actually be a blessing. Now Dame gets paid to not play, freedom to choose his next destination, and a fresh shot at a title according to The Athletic. He's reportedly elated about how this turned out. And why not? Rumors say the Miami Heat are back in play. This time they can get Dame without sacrificing assets, just using cap space. Dame's odds of winning a ring, they just went way up. But the real losers in all this, the Indiana Pacers. Imagine being one win from the NBA Finals, and then your team's owner decides to tighten the purse strings. Why wouldn't he just pay up to keep Myles Turner? Well, here's the background. The Pacers are owned by Herb Simon, a billionaire who made his fortune in shopping malls. Not exactly a booming business in 2025. He's been notoriously frugal, avoiding the luxury tax for 2 decades. But this time, he said he was ready to break that pattern to keep the roster together. Then 2 major events changed everything. Tyrese Halliburton's injury. Suddenly, paying big money for a lost year felt pointless. A new luxury tax rule. Starting next season, for every dollar a team goes over the tax line, they have to pay an additional dollar, capped at $5.7 million in penalties. That rule punished smaller market owners like Simon even harder. So instead of doubling down, he bailed. And now the Pacers are in free fall. Giannis just forced the Bucks in one of the craziest moves. They will pay Damian Lillard $23 million in the next 5 years to not play basketball for them. Oh, it's tough to build an NBA roster trying to do it with $23 million less than everybody else. But they did it to sign Myles Turner. They opened up money to pay him in free agency, filling a big need in the roster. Brook Lopez just left for LA, and there are very few centers who are a perfect fit next to Giannis, but Turner is one. Plus, this hurts the Pacers for years, and they hate those people. Turner's just 29 years old, was key to their success making the finals. But is this going to work? Not even close. I am sorry, but Myles Turner isn't like a superstar player. But that is how they are paying him, cause dude makes $27 million now plus the $23 million of Dame's money. So it's like they're paying $50 million for Myles Turner. Do you know who makes $50 million last year? Like Nikola Jokic, Kevin Durant. It's more than Giannis himself. But is having Myles Turner like having 2 Giannis-type players? Not even close. And you guys know the #1 rule in this new CBA is to not have bad contracts. Well, they've got a heck of a bad one. Now, not saying that Myles Turner isn't worth $28 million, but when you add it all together, no. So Giannis might stay for now, but how long till he realizes this mistake? But Chris Haynes already reported hey, Giannis was not pleased with the team's decision to waive Damian Lillard. And right after that, Giannis posted Mood 100 with the caption, I have no idea what's going on. What does that even mean? Does it mean he's not happy? Because if so, shut up. Giannis constantly pushes his team to go all in, so he can't complain when they do something crazy like this. First, rumors that he could leave. So, they trade for Drew Holiday. Rumors again. Trade for Domin Lewis, then. Oh, they're all out of ammo. Once you go $5.7 million over the luxury tax line, you're in level 2 territory, and for every dollar you go over, you owe $1.25 in penalties, but it skyrockets from there. Level 3, you're paying $3.50 for every single extra dollar. Level 4. That's a whopping $5 for every $1 you overspend. So let's be real. Herb Simon, who's avoided the luxury tax for the past 2 decades, was never going to be a level 3 or level 4 spender. Now check this out. Look at the Pacers' salary sheet. These are the guys Indiana already has under contract. And remember, by NBA rule, you must carry at least 14 players. They've already got a few on minimum deals to meet that threshold. But now imagine you add Myles Turner back to that roster. Boom. Suddenly they're $12 million over the tax line. That's level 3 territory. There's no way Simon was going to pay those penalties. So what probably happened? They likely went to Myles and said, "Hey man, we love you, but we need you to accept a very team-friendly contract." Meanwhile, other teams came calling with better offers, and Myles, he had no real choice. Hugh walked out. Reports say Indiana offered him 3 years, $60 million, which is lowball money for someone who's been a core Pacer for years and just helped lead them to the finals. Then the Bucks swooped in and nearly doubled that offer to make matters worse for Indiana. Turner didn't just leave, he left for their biggest rival. So what do the Pacers do now? Maybe they make a move for DeAndre Ayton, though he might already be headed to Los Angeles by the time you're seeing this. Regardless, this is a major hit for Indiana, especially for Tyrese Halliburton, who's now lost a huge piece of the puzzle for when he comes back from injury. But let's flip this back to the Bucks. What happens if this all blows up? What if Milwaukee flames out again next season? Here's the twist. I actually think this could be a brilliant backup plan. Imagine this. Next year, Giannis sees things falling apart. They're not a top 3 seed. The team clearly isn't a title contender, and there's no flexibility left to improve because of Dame's $23 million in dead money. At that point, if Giannis wants out, the Bucks would be prepared now. They have Myles Turner, a legit asset on a reasonable contract. He has real trade value, unlike Dame, a 34-year-old recovering from injury who was nearly UNMOVABLE. So, in a rebuild scenario, that $23 million in Dame's dead salary, who cares? Rebuilding teams aren't spending big anyway. It actually gives them a reason to reset and go cheap without fan backlash. Of course, they'd need to reacquire their own first-round picks, but with both Giannis and Turner on the block, that's totally doable. So this isn't just a wild swing to please Giannis, it's a calculated pivot. If they win, great. If they don't, they're ready to blow it up with values still in hand. But there's one guy on the Bucks who might not be sticking around for any version of this future: Malik Beasley. Right now, he's reportedly under federal investigation for betting on NBA games, the third major scandal to rock the league recently. So, I started digging. Just how serious is this? Is Malik innocent, or is his NBA career already finished?